I'm Ethan Carter, living in Pinewood, a small town in Oregon where cobblestone streets and green trees create a peaceful vibe. But my life isn't peaceful. I'm battling stage 2 lung cancer. Each day a fight against pain and exhaustion from chemo. Still, I try to keep a normal routine, mostly for Claire, my wife. Claire works at an ad agency in Portland, while I'm an accountant, now only working remotely on weekends because of my weak health. Before diving into the story, comment where you're watching from, and don't forget to subscribe so you won't miss the latest stories. I wake up early every day, though my body aches like it's weighed down. I drag myself to the kitchen, making breakfast for Claire. I want her to have a good day, even though I'm the one who needs care. Claire's often busy, never helping with chores. She usually goes to Willow Creek on weekends to visit her parents, leaving me alone in the empty house. I try not to overthink, but sometimes I wonder why isn't she here when I need her. Besides chores, I find joy in blogging. I started writing when I took leave for chemo, sharing my cancer journey from exhausting days to small moments like Pinewood sky or the soup I cook. I take photos, post them on the blog, and readers leave encouraging comments. "You're so strong, Ethan," they write. Those words are light in the darkness, easing my loneliness, especially since Claire never cares. That day I prepared dinner, steak with mashed potatoes, hoping Claire would like it. She came home, tossed her bag and coat on the sofa. I picked them up, hung them neatly in the closet, then brought out the food. "Hey, hon," I said, forcing a smile. "I'm gonna shower," Claire replied curtly, heading straight to the bathroom. I stood there, looking at the set table, my heart sinking. 3 years of marriage, and I'm getting used to her coldness. I once thought marriage was about sharing, but now I feel like a housekeeper. I looked at the pile of dishes, sighing. I know Claire doesn't mean to hurt me, but her indifference cuts like a knife. I cleaned up, wiped the table, did laundry, though every move stabbed with pain. I wanted to rest, but thinking of Claire coming home and complaining about a messy house, I pushed on. I snapped a photo of sunlight streaming through the Pinewood window, posting it on my blog with the caption, "A new day, still fighting." Readers quickly commented, "You're so strong, Ethan." Those words eased my loneliness, but also reminded me, Claire never says anything like that. The next day, I went to the Pinewood supermarket to buy groceries. I picked healthy stuff, greens, fruits, as the doctor advised. Chemo's weakening me, and I need to eat carefully to stay strong. While pushing the cart, I ran into Maggie Larson, my neighbor. "Hey, Ethan, getting stuff to cook?" Maggie asked, her voice cheerful. "Yeah, prepping dinner," I replied, forcing a smile. Maggie looked at me, her eyes concerned. "You look tired. Need any help?" I shook my head. "Thanks, I'm fine." But Maggie wasn't easily brushed off. "Where's Claire? Letting you shop alone. You need rest." I shrugged, not wanting to complain. "She's busy, and I'm used to it." Maggie smiled softly, patting my shoulder. "Take care of yourself, Ethan. Call me if you need anything." I nodded, warmed by her concern. Back home, I started dinner. Spaghetti with tomato sauce, a dish Claire used to love. It took me hours to chop veggies and make the sauce, my hands shaking from fatigue. When Claire got home, she tossed her bag on the sofa again. I picked it up, hung it in the closet, then served the food. "Hey, hon, I made spaghetti," I said, hoping she'd be pleased. "Yeah, I'll shower first," Claire replied, heading straight to the bathroom. I stood there, looking at the table, that familiar feeling creeping in. She never notices my effort. When Claire came out, I handed her a glass of water. "Where's the pain meds?" she asked, scanning the kitchen counter. "Oh, sorry, I forgot to restock today." "I'll get them tomorrow," I said quietly. Claire snapped. "Seriously? Go get them now." I got frustrated, unable to hold back. "Claire, I'm exhausted. If you need them urgently, why can't you go?" "I had chemo yesterday, you know that." Claire glared, her voice rising. "You forgot, that's on you. Fix it. Don't use your illness as an excuse. My mom says sick people need to stay active." Her words stabbed like a knife. I knew arguing would only make things worse, so I reluctantly grabbed my coat, dragging myself to the convenience store. Pinewood streets were dark and cold. Every step made my chest ache, like my lungs were protesting. I thought about Claire, how she compared me to her mom, her indifference. I wondered, does she even see how hard I'm trying? At the store, I ran into Maggie again. "Ethan, forgot something?" she asked, her tone teasing. "Yeah, Claire needed meds," I replied, forcing a smile. Maggie frowned. Why didn't she go herself? You don't look okay, I sighed. I told her, but she wouldn't listen. Maggie shook her head. You're putting up with too much, Ethan. Need me to talk to Claire? I quickly declined. No need. Thanks, Maggie. We parted at the intersection, but her words made me think, maybe I'm enduring more than I realize. Back home, Claire was sprawled on the sofa, watching TV. Took you long enough. Where'd you wander off to? Gimme the meds, she snapped. I handed her the bottle, didn't respond, then quietly cleaned the dinner table. The spaghetti was cold. Claire hadn't touched it. Her words echoed in my head. Don't use your illness as an excuse. I wanted to scream, to ask why she treated me like this, but I stayed silent. I didn't want another fight. Before bed, I wrote a blog post. I shared about the day, cooking, shopping, and the nameless pain. I posted a photo of the spaghetti with the caption, trying, even if no one sees. Readers commented, "You're not alone, Ethan." I read them, my eyes stinging, realizing strangers cared more about me than my wife. I turned off the computer. Lay down, my heart heavy. After those tense days, I tried to stay calm, hoping Claire would change, but things only got worse. The next morning, she walked into the kitchen, scrolling her phone, not even glancing at me. Why are you so grumpy this morning? Don't take it out on me, Claire said, her tone sharp. I was stunned. I'm not upset, I replied, but she grabbed her bag and headed out. Make something nice for dinner. Be careful, she said, then drove off. I stood there, looking at the empty kitchen, wondering why she thought I was mad when I was the one trying for her. I cleaned the house, wiped the table, did laundry. Though every move sparked pain. Chemo made my hair fall out, my skin pale, and I'm always drained. I snapped a photo of sunlight through the pinewood window, posting it on my blog, with the caption, "Trying to live, even just for a day." Readers commented, "You're an inspiration, Ethan." Those words eased my loneliness, but Claire's indifference loomed like a shadow over me. When Claire got home, she tossed her bag on the sofa, as if nothing was new. I quietly picked it up, hung it in the closet, then served dinner. "Hey, hon, I made steak," I said, trying to lighten the mood, hoping it'd make her happy. "Yeah, I'll shower first," Claire replied dismissively, heading straight to the bathroom. I stood there, looking at the neatly set table, like I was preparing for a special occasion, but my heart felt nothing but emptiness. When she came back, I tried to start a conversation, knowing nothing would likely change. "How was your day?" She shrugged, taking a bite of steak. "Busy. This is kinda tough, Ethan. My mom makes better steak." Her words stabbed my heart. I stayed silent, swallowing my food without tasting it, feeling only heaviness. She got up after eating. "I'm gonna rest," she said, not looking at me, leaving me alone to clean the table. I looked at the scattered dishes, my heart heavy. Does she ever realize how hard I tried, just for a dinner like this? That night Claire suddenly said, "Babe, this weekend I'm going away with my parents. Just 3 days. You'll be fine alone, right?" I was stunned. This weekend was my important chemo session, and the doctor said I needed someone with me because I could get weak. "Claire, I have chemo this weekend. Can you stay? I need you," I said quietly. She frowned. "Ethan, you always overreact. Rest after chemo. You'll be fine. My parents planned this ages ago. You can handle it, right?" I wanted to argue, but her tone was firm. "Fine," I replied, my heart heavy. I video called my parents, telling them about Claire's plans. "I need her, but she doesn't get it," I said. My mom sighed. "Ethan, you deserve to be loved. Think of yourself." Her words made me reflect, but I still hoped Claire would change her mind. That night, I wrote a blog post about the day, cooking, cleaning, and the sadness of Claire's trip announcement. I posted a photo of the steak with the caption, "Trying, but is it worth it?" Readers commented, "You're not alone, Ethan." I read them, my eyes stinging, realizing strangers cared more about me than my wife. The next evening, Claire came home late, tipsy from a company party. She stumbled in, collapsing on the sofa. "Babe, you're just gonna leave me like this," she slurred as I tried to help her. "Don't touch me. You look so pathetic. Who'd think you're my husband?" Her words cut like a knife. I was stunned, wanting to yell, but I just cleaned up quietly. I ate alone, showered, and went to bed, my heart empty. Claire slept soundly, oblivious to how much she'd hurt me. After Claire's drunken insults, I tried to forget, but the pain lingered. I hoped she'd rethink her trip with her parents, especially since my upcoming chemo was critical. The doctor warned I could get an infection or high fever after this session, and I needed someone with me. But Claire didn't seem to care. She kept preparing for her trip, leaving me alone in the Pinewood house, full of worry. On the departure day, I woke up feeling heavier than usual. My chest ached sharply, and I felt feverish, like I was burning up. I tried drinking water, but the pain didn't ease. When Claire walked into the kitchen, pulling her suitcase, I took a deep breath. Claire, I'm not okay. I feel feverish, maybe an infection from chemo. Can you take me to Portland Hospital first? I said, my voice urgent. Claire frowned, clearly annoyed. Ethan, you always overreact. Take some fever meds, you'll be fine. I have to get to Willow Creek. My parents are waiting. I was stunned. Claire, I'm serious. The doctor said infections are dangerous. Please, I nearly begged. She sighed, tossing her suitcase aside. Fine. Get in the car. But hurry, I don't want to be late. I nodded, quickly grabbing my coat, though every step made me dizzy. In the car, I was sweating, coughing hard, trying to stay calm. Claire glanced at me, her face sour. Ethan, you're messing up the car seat. Stop coughing. I was shocked, managing to say, I can't control it. Please, drive faster. But Claire pulled over, opening my door. Get out. You're ruining the car. Call an ambulance or something? I couldn't believe it. Claire, I'm feverish. How can you abandon me? I shouted, but she pulled me out of the car, her voice cold. I can't have the car like this. Handle it, Ethan. I have to go with my parents. She slammed the door, drove off, leaving me collapsing on the roadside. I stood there, my head spinning, the fever burning my body. I tried to grab my phone, but my hands shook, my vision blurring. Just then, a voice called out, Ethan, you okay? I looked up, seeing Maggie Larson, my neighbor, standing by her car. She ran over, supporting me. My God, you're burning up. What happened? I mumbled. Claire, she left me. I need a hospital. Maggie didn't ask more, immediately calling a taxi, helping me in. Don't worry, you'll be okay, she said, holding my hand. I felt grateful, but also crushed by Claire's betrayal. On the way to Portland Hospital, Maggie sat beside me, comforting me. What was Claire thinking? Doing this? She shook her head. I didn't answer, just tried to stay conscious. At the hospital, doctors rushed me to the ER. They diagnosed a severe infection from chemo, needing immediate treatment. Maggie stayed until my parents arrived from Seattle. She held my hand, whispering, You're so strong, Ethan. I'm here. I nodded, my eyes stinging, vowing I'll make Claire pay for this. In the ICU, I grabbed my phone, posting a short blog update. I was abandoned when I needed her most. I shared a photo of the hospital hallway, cold and empty, mirroring my heart. Readers commented instantly. Ethan, you don't deserve this. We're here for you. Those words were a small light, but didn't soothe the pain. I thought about Claire, how she chose her parents' trip over taking me to the hospital. I thought about the years I tried for her, only to get betrayal. My parents arrived, my mom hugging me, crying. How could she do this to you? She asked. I shook my head, not wanting to talk. My dad held my hand, his voice firm. You deserve love, Ethan. Don't let her drag you down. His words made me think. I looked at Maggie, who saved me today, and felt deep gratitude. She wasn't just a neighbor, but a light in my darkness. On the hospital bed, I heard the steady beeping of machines. The fever was subsiding, but my heart still burned. I thought about Claire, her trip, her past insults, but deep down, I knew I couldn't live like this anymore. On the hospital bed in Portland, I felt each breath slowly, as if my body was regaining strength. The chemo-related infection was under control, but my heart was still a mess from Claire's betrayal. My parents up from Seattle sat beside me, their eyes full of worry. Mom held my hand, tears streaming. How could she do this to you? She asked. I shook my head, not wanting to answer. Dad patted my shoulder, his voice firm. You'll get through this, Ethan. We're here for you. Their presence was a huge comfort, but Claire's pain lingered like an unhealed cut. Maggie Larson, who saved me that day, visited often. She brought homemade cookies, told funny Pinewood stories to cheer me up. You're looking better, Maggie said, smiling. But rest, okay? I nodded, thanking her. Maggie, I don't know what would have happened without you. She waved it off, smiling softly. Don't think too much. You're okay. That's what matters. My heart warmed, but it stung to think a neighbor cared more than my wife. While in the hospital, my phone kept buzzing. I thought it was Claire, but my parents said she was calling non-stop. Don't bother, Dad said, turning it off. I nodded, not wanting her apologies. But then Maggie dropped a bombshell. Ethan, you know what? Someone filmed Claire abandoning you on the road. It's gone viral on Twitter. I was stunned. What video? Maggie showed me on her phone. A passerby recorded Claire yelling, pulling me out of the car, then driving off. My face was blurred, but everyone knew it was Claire. The video had thousands of shares, with angry comments. How could a wife abandon her cancer-stricken husband like that? Rachel, my friend and a Portland influencer, shared the video, writing a long post about my situation. This man is fighting cancer, but his wife chose a trip over taking him to the hospital, she wrote. The post spread fast, drawing attention across social media. I read the comments, torn between shame and relief. This is awful. He doesn't deserve this. I didn't expect it to blow up like this. But part of me felt justice was being served. Maggie revealed another shocking detail. My husband Tom Larson is Claire's ad agency boss. I told him about this. She paused, looking at me. Tom doesn't tolerate that behavior. Claire's in big trouble at work. I was floored. I never knew Maggie had that connection. Maggie, I don't know what to say. Thank you, I whispered. She smiled. You're my friend, Ethan. I couldn't just stand by. The support from Maggie, my parents, and the online community made me reflect. I'd put up with Claire too long, always hoping she'd change. But abandoning me on the road was the final straw. On the hospital bed, I decided I'm getting a divorce. I didn't want to live with someone who didn't value me. When I shared this with my parents, Mom hugged me. You're doing the right thing, Ethan. Dad nodded. We'll support you. I felt lighter, like a weight was lifted. I opened my blog, writing about my hospital days. I shared Claire's betrayal, Maggie's rescue, and my resolve to change my life. I posted a photo of the hospital hallway with the caption, "Sometimes you lose everything to find yourself." Readers commented instantly, "You're so strong, Ethan. We're rooting for you." One wrote, "Leave her. You deserve happiness." I read them, tears streaming. These strangers, who I'd never met, gave me strength. Claire never did. Claire kept trying to reach me, sending apology texts, but I ignored them. Once, Dad handed me the phone, saying she called. I listened, only to hear her panic. "Ethan, help me. Everyone's attacking me." I wasn't in the mood or state to talk, so I hung up. My parents shook their heads, clearly displeased. "You only cares about herself," Mom said. I nodded, my heart cold. I had no expectations left for Claire. In Portland Hospital, I felt my body slowly recovering from the chemo infection, but my heart stayed heavy. The viral Twitter video exposed Claire's actions, making her frantic, calling and texting nonstop. I ignored her, unwilling to hear fake apologies. My parents, still by my side, shook their heads every time Claire's name popped up on my phone. "She's not worth your time," Dad said firmly. Mom held my hand, comforting. "You deserve happiness, Ethan." Their words strengthened my resolve. I'd divorce her, no matter how painful. Maggie kept visiting, bringing coffee and pastries from Pinewood. "You're looking better," she said, smiling. "But don't let Claire's mess drain you." I nodded, grateful. "Maggie, you don't know how much I appreciate you. You saved me." She waved it off. "Don't say that. I just did what's right. Focus on your health and future." Her words made me think. Maggie wasn't just a neighbor. She was a true friend. Unlike Claire, who abandoned me when I needed her most. One morning, my phone buzzed. Not Claire, but her mom, Helen. I hesitated, but Dad said, "Take it, see what they say." I answered and Helen's voice came through. Sharp. "Ethan, how could you let that video spread? You're humiliating my daughter. Don't you know how hard it was to raise her?" I was stunned, trying to stay calm. "Helen, Claire left me on the road when I was feverish, needing a hospital. I didn't film it." She cut me off. "Don't blame her. You're her husband. You should have protected her, not let the world attack her." I sighed. I tried, but Claire chose your trip over me. Helen didn't listen, kept berating, then hung up. I looked at my parents, heart heavy. "They'll never get it," Mom said, hugging me. Claire kept sending long texts. "Ethan, I'm sorry, but I was pressured by my parents. Everyone's attacking me. Help me." I read but didn't reply. She wasn't sorry for abandoning me, only for the consequences she faced. I asked hospital staff to block Claire if she showed up. I didn't want to see her or hear her excuses anymore. I shared my divorce plan with Maggie. She nodded, her eyes empathetic. "You deserve a better life, Ethan. If you need anything, tell me." I thanked her. then called Rachel, my friend who shared the video. Rachel, I'm divorcing her, I said. She cheered. Good for you, Ethan. She doesn't deserve you. Need help? Just say so. Maggie and Rachel's support made me feel I wasn't alone. To proceed with the divorce, I contacted Laura Mitchell, a lawyer my dad knew. Over the phone, I told Laura everything. Claire's indifference, her abandonment, the viral video. Laura's voice was calm. Ethan, you have strong grounds for divorce. I'll prepare the papers. Want to request anything else? I thought for a moment. I want her to be held accountable. Maybe compensation for emotional distress. Laura agreed. I'll handle it. You rest and let me take care of this. I kept blogging, sharing my divorce decision, and the support from family. Maggie, Rachel. I posted a photo of the coffee Maggie brought, with the caption, "Some strangers become family." Readers commented, "You're doing the right thing, Ethan. Live for yourself." I read, tears streaming. These people, who I'd never met, gave me strength. Claire never did. After hiring Laura Mitchell, I felt a new surge of strength, like I was reclaiming control of my life. In Portland Hospital, I focused on recovering from the chemo infection, but my mind was on the future, a future without Claire. My parents, still by my side, supported my divorce decision. You're doing the right thing, Ethan, Mom said, hugging me. Dad nodded. She doesn't deserve you. Their support kept me steady, though it hurt to think of the years I tried for Claire. Laura called, updating me. Ethan, I sent the divorce papers to Claire. She's not happy, but I'll ensure it's fair. I thanked her, mentioning the viral Twitter X video where thousands criticized Claire for abandoning me during my fever. That video is strong evidence, Laura said. If we go to court, we'll use it. I nodded, hoping to avoid a long trial. I just wanted closure and a fresh start. Claire kept reaching out, sending long texts. Ethan, I'm sorry, but you have to help me. Everyone's turning on me. I ignored her, but Laura suggested a call to settle things. If she won't sign, we need proof she's refusing, Laura explained. I agreed, though I dreaded hearing Claire's voice. In the call, with Laura monitoring, Claire nearly screamed. Ethan, just apologize and it's done. Come home, we'll start over. The house is a mess. I might lose my job. Everyone sees me as a criminal. This is your fault. I was stunned by her audacity. Claire, you left me on the road when I needed a hospital. This is your consequence, not mine, I said. Calm, but firm. She scoffed. You always overreact. What a pathetic guy. I smiled, knowing Laura was recording. Keep that attitude, Claire. We'll see you in court, I said, then hung up. Laura sent the recording to Claire's side. Hearing about a possible trial, Claire's parents panicked, pushing her to sign the divorce papers. Laura reported back. They agreed. Ethan, you get most of the assets, plus a small compensation for emotional distress. I exhaled, feeling unburdened. Thank you, Laura, I said. She laughed over the phone. You're stronger than you think, Ethan. Meanwhile, Claire faced heavy consequences. Maggie told me Tom Larson, her husband and Claire's ad agency boss, fired Claire after seeing the viral video. Tom values family, Maggie said. He wouldn't keep an employee who treated her husband like that. Claire had to sell the Pinewood house, moving back with her parents in Willow Creek. Rumors spread, making her and her family outcasts in their community. Part of me felt justice was served, but I wasn't happy. I just wanted to forget Claire and move on. After leaving the hospital, I moved to Seattle, near my parents. They set up a cozy room for me, with a window overlooking green trees. I felt free, like starting a new chapter. I visited Pinewood once to thank Maggie. She invited me in, poured coffee, and smiled. You look so much healthier, Ethan. I held her hand, sincere. Maggie, I don't know where I'd be without you. Thank you for everything. She waved it off, her smile bright. You're my friend. I just did what's right. I started freelancing, focusing on my health. I joined a cancer support group, meeting others like me, sharing my story. I didn't feel alone anymore. I thought about Claire, her downfall, but I didn't hate her. She chose her path. I only regretted the years I spent trying to please her. I felt a fresh breeze blowing through my life, as if it was opening a bright, hopeful chapter. After finalizing the divorce with Claire, I moved to a small apartment near my parents, with windows overlooking lush green trees. The peaceful scenery and cozy space soothed my past pains, and I began feeling my health improve. Though stage 2 lung cancer still needed close monitoring, recent chemo sessions showed positive results, boosting my faith in life. I started freelancing as an accountant, slowly regaining the rhythm I'd lost. Though the cancer fight remained long and challenging, I wasn't scared anymore. I had my parents, friends, and most importantly, myself, stronger than I ever thought. A key decision in my recovery was joining a cancer support group. There, I met others in similar situations, each with their own stories. These peers shared pain but also hope, encouraging words that showed me I wasn't alone in this fight. I shared my story too, from Claire's betrayal to my journey of standing up and battling this deadly disease. An older man in the group, after hearing me, patted my shoulder and said, "You're an inspiration, Ethan." His words made me smile, and in that moment, I recalled my blog's comments. The blog wasn't just a place to vent. It was where I found comfort, writing about my new life, learning to love and care for myself. One weekend, I returned to Pinewood to visit Maggie Larson, who saved me on my darkest day, when everything seemed to collapse. Maggie welcomed me at her home, pouring hot coffee and serving homemade cookies. She looked at me and smiled. "You look so much healthier." Her words felt like a gentle compliment, warming my heart oddly. I held her hand, sincere. "Maggie, you were my light when everything fell apart. I'll never forget that." Maggie smiled kindly, waving it off. "Don't make me blush, Ethan. You're stronger than you think." Her words eased my heart. We chatted, and for the first time in months, I felt relaxed, at peace. Maggie invited me to stay for dinner with her family. At the table, I met Sophie, Maggie and Tom's daughter. Sophie was about my age, with a radiant smile and warm eyes that made me feel at ease right away. We hit it off like old friends. Sophie asked about Seattle, my blog, and I openly shared my experiences. "I read your blog," Sophie said, smiling brightly. "How you overcame everything is admirable. I wasn't used to praise, so I blushed, saying thanks, just trying to keep going." Maggie watched us, her eyes mischievous, making me realize life always has surprises. Maybe these surprises are rewards for those who face challenges and push through. After the Pinewood visit, I wrote a blog post about my gratitude for Maggie and her family. I shared the freedom and peace I found in Seattle, and the new friends I met on this journey. I posted a photo of Maggie's cookie plate, with the caption, "Family isn't just blood, it's those who stand by you when you need them most." The post spread fast online, drawing thousands of shares and comments. Readers shared empathy, encouragement. "Congrats, Ethan. You deserve happiness." One wrote, "Your story inspires me to keep fighting." I read those comments, tears streaming. These strangers had become part of my life, like a second family. Time passed and I heard about Claire through Rachel. After losing her job at the ad agency, due to Tom Larson's firing, Claire couldn't afford the Pinewood house. She sold it and moved back with her parents in Willow Creek. Rumors of her downfall spread, making Claire and her family shunned in their community. Rachel said Claire tried finding new work, but her reputation was ruined. I didn't feel joy hearing about Claire's struggles, but I didn't feel pity either. She chose her path, and I only hoped she'd learn her lesson, though it was late. My parents grew close with Maggie and Tom. Once they invited Maggie's family to Seattle for dinner. The table was full of laughter, and a warm feeling filled the room. I looked at Sophie, sitting across, her eyes sparkling as she talked about her design work. I thought about my years with Claire, the pain she left, but now, I only felt new hope. Sophie and I started talking more, and though I didn't know what the future held, I sensed a special bond between us. Life, it turns out, is full of surprises. In my small apartment, looking at the clear blue sky, I wrote my final blog post about this journey. I thanked my parents, Maggie, Rachel, Sophie, and the online community. Those who helped me through my darkest moments. I posted a photo of the Seattle sea, with the caption, "After the storm, light always comes." The post spread, inspiring thousands. I sat reading comments, my heart warm. Thank you all, we can all overcome. Standing on Seattle's shore, I felt the cool breeze. I thought about cancer, Claire, the days I thought I couldn't go on, but I did. I'm no longer the man enduring in that Pinewood house. I'm Ethan Carter who found himself again. With my parents, Maggie, Sophie, and a whole world ahead, I know I'll live fully, one day at a time. Ethan's story teaches us that in life, especially in America today, putting yourself first and building a support network is crucial. Ethan endured Claire's indifference, from her criticizing his steak to abandoning him when he needed a hospital, showing how a toxic relationship can harm both body and mind, especially when facing cancer. The first lesson is don't tolerate disrespect, even from those closest. Ethan's divorce decision, backed by lawyer Laura Mitchell, highlights the importance of legal action to protect your rights, a common reality in America. Maggie's help, from calling a taxi to exposing Claire's actions to her husband, shows the value of community. A neighbor can change your life. Ethan's blog, where he shared pain and received encouraging comments, reflects the power of online connection, a vital part of modern American culture. Finally, Ethan's move to Seattle and meeting Sophie remind us there's always a chance to start over, as long as you let go of the past. Seek those who lift you up, like Maggie or Ethan's parents, and don't hesitate to find support, whether through cancer groups or social media. Life in America can be tough, but with self-respect and community, you can overcome any challenge, like Ethan did. Subscribe to my blog to follow my journey of overcoming challenges and finding light, as I did in Seattle. Thank you for joining me, and see you in the next inspiring stories.